Over the years, food deserts have become an issue for millions of Americans. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture in 2021, approximately 34 million Americans lived in a food desert. A food desert is a region that lacks accessible grocery stores, specifically stores that offer affordable and healthy food options.
These areas are most common in rural regions, such as states in the Midwestern U.S. In these cases, there are not enough people in a close enough range to support adequate grocery stores.
But food deserts can also be seen in large cities and metropolitan areas. In these cases, the lack of available food is attributed to lack of funds rather than lack of people. In areas without adequate grocery stores, food pantries, food delivery, and food stamps are some systems assisting in providing food. We interviewed a member from a local food pantry in Alexandria, Virginia.
I'm Joan Moser. I've been a volunteer here at Alive for, at least 20 years. I was a former president of the organization. Alive has 2,000 volunteers. To give you an idea, it's really volunteer driven. Food desert, it's basically people that don't have enough money to put food on the table for their family in a consistent way. There's a lot of people who just can't make ends meet, and yet they're hardworking. And the main cause is the jobs that people have, they're not paying enough for them to pay for the rent and utilities and put food on the table. Well, here at Alive relies on donations from people, as well as we buy food, like say from the Capillary Food Bank. So that's essentially what Alive does in the food portion. We've got 2 food hubs, and they're just small little stores in a strip mall. The other part is we have mass food distribution on like a Saturday at 5 different sites. We load up bags of food and pass them out.
Another example of food deserts are specific areas of Dallas, Texas. Neighborhoods in these areas have high poverty rates and a lack of public transportation, making it difficult to get to grocery stores. However, one solution for food deserts has been put into place in South Dallas, Texas.
That's a really big problem. I'm glad it was brought up. I just went last month to visit a community in South Dallas called Bonton, and there's an organization there called Bonton Farms, which sprang up and was created in response to the fact that it's a food desert there. And when we visited, the folks who ran it told us this is not just a food desert, this is an opportunity desert, this is a hope desert. But we saw that there's an urban garden at Bonton Farms, a really significant sized urban garden now. And folks who would have to maybe take 2 or 3 buses or go 10, 15 miles to find food, and particularly healthy food, now through Bonton Farms are able to get food right in their own community.
Urban gardens have been a significant help to individuals who live in food deserts. Another solution for this issue may be improved access to public transportation, such as free and new bus routes to improve food accessibility. Despite their consequences to many, some believe that food deserts are not a pressing issue. Many grocery store companies do not consider food deserts when choosing new locations, but instead they build new stores based on where they would produce the most profits. Grocery stores often close certain stores in high crime areas. While this makes sense from a financial or safety perspective, store closures like these leave citizens without accessible grocery store locations and create food deserts. Areas that are considered bad or unsafe typically overlap with food desert regions in cities because these areas tend to have higher rates of unemployment and lower education rates.
An example of this occurred in 2023 when Aldi closed a location in North Minneapolis which had been utilized by many impoverished neighborhoods in the area. Appetite for Change, a North Minneapolis food security nonprofit, says they were not surprised by this because abrupt closures are common in this area when businesses come in and see the instability, then abruptly close.
It is known that education and nutrition are extremely connected. Children who lack adequate food resources tend to also lack productivity in academic environments. Kids who don't have easy access to nutritious food often perform at lower academic levels. An ecological study conducted in New York City by Seth E. Ferndak found that school districts with more people living in food desert regions have shown lower 4th grade achievement across science, English, and math.
It is crucial for children to receive adequate meals while they are growing. Schools play a major role in providing food to children and are especially important for kids living in food deserts.
In many school districts, school breakfast and lunch are beginning to be provided for free. This implementation is extremely fundamental in providing meals for kids who don't have easy access to food. Considering all of this information, it's clear that food deserts are a pressing issue that impact the lives of millions of Americans, including their education and health. However, this issue is one that can be resolved if brought to the attention of more political leaders. By advocating for this issue, we can ensure that everyone has access to the healthy and nourishing food they deserve.